Hello everyone, this is Korith Landwalker, and tonight we have another exciting episode in Star Trek Online. In our previous, recent streams, we've kind of gotten involved with the Gamma Quadrant again. Not directly, it kind of came to us. Apparently, the alien Herc have been Hercs have been lurking. And their caretakers have been busy preparing for their return. The alien Sankethi, being a violent species perhaps, decided that the best way to solve the problem was to exterminate planets. That didn't go well. That inevitably led to the arrival of the Herc, the defeat of the Sankethi to a certain extent, and the arrival of the Dominion. But we're not going to be dealing with the Dominion itself right away, although we will be dealing with some little details in the Gamma Quadrant. Oh, yes, in case you haven't guessed by this screen, the summer event is here. I am still here in Spear Space, so I'm not going to worry too much about that because I'm going to transwarp to our destination anyway. But before we get rolling, let's take care of the usual administrivia. I actually have some duty officer assignments. What did I do? Oh right, I grabbed some duty officers for the sole purpose of completing one of the endeavors. Now, we are in luck today, because one of our endeavors today is defeat Herc attendants. We actually have a shot at that one. Restore shields at ground? That's another possible winner, especially if it's available through the shield generator. Disruptor damage? Well, they can't all be winners. Now, I just want to point out, I don't plan to do it, because I'm not that motivated. But I have 7 reroll tokens. What this would allow me to do would be to change an endeavor randomly to something else. But I am very familiar with my luck here. I would bet any real amount of money that whatever I rolled here would be something worse. Because, and I can't help it. That's just how I roll. Please don't throw rotten fruit at me. So, dealing with other stuff. Oh, of course, I also have too many actual. Let's see. Recharge time. Recharge time on what? Another recharge time. I've got 3 people who have an ability that involves recharge time. That sounds wrong. I don't know who they are. Oh, I also have some spare R&D material. Let's get rid of that. Clear out some inventory, shall we? And let's take a look at the duty officer roster here and see who's expendable. Which is to say, common quality, leading off with anybody who has the name R&D. Bye. And bye. And I'm having trouble finding another hologram that I'm willing to get rid of. Bye. Alright, take all. Now, I've got no idea who the heck these people were. And unfortunately, it used to show... Oh, how about that? You just have to go to request more duty officers. Recharge time of grenade, recharge time of torpedoes, recharge when using subsystem targeting attacks. Well, none of them are what you would call great. But, you know, it's no big deal, honestly. Moving along, since I happen to have the screen of the ship up. Oh, looks like when I wasn't looking, I got the sniper Starship Mastery trait. So we're going to... Oh, and did it automatically apply? No, it did not. Oh, and I've got a few other traits left over from stuff. Oh, decisions. Herring maneuver, emergency power to engines or pilot abilities grants access. Do I even have engines on my list? I do not. I see no purpose in keeping that one on. We'll grab the critical systems and the temporal insight. Excellent. And all my other traits are actually still working, which I'm a little surprised by. Take a quick look at skills. Let's make sure that if I have any specialization points left over, nope, used them all last week, I believe. That brings us to the reputations. We did a little bit of reputation stuff here because I had managed to fall into some extra available marks. So, let's start with our temporal marks. We have enough to claim Tier 4 reputation. What will that get us? Stand by. What that got us was access to controlled countermeasures, which is bonus damage to controlled targets, like slowed, rooted, all that stuff, and counterstroke, which does something similar, except it involves severity. So, you know, nice to have, no biggie. I do have 15 more temporal marks. I'll just feed them all into here, it doesn't really matter. Well, I'll feed the marks into there. I really don't feel like putting any of the other stuff in there until I get enough to continue on to Tier 5, which I don't expect to happen ever. Dyson Joint Command. Current status, Tier 4. We got a heap of marks, so I want to try throwing some of them and see what happens. I don't know if this will be enough to get us to the Tier 4, but it can't hurt to try. New Romulus, of course, continues to be my white whale. The hope is to maybe, just maybe, get to Tier 6 someday. I'm not expecting that to happen anytime soon. And I believe that takes care of all the available marks that are actually useful. Yes. Alright. Now that we've got all the preliminaries out of the way, let's go on to the mission. Ooh, you know what? There is an Admiralty Lore mission. It is a universal endeavor. But it doesn't give a whole lot of Endeavor XP. Nah. If we have time at the end of the stream, if things are iffy, then I'll go and do that to wrap things up. But I'm not going to make that a priority. In the meantime, let us begin the next episode of the Gamma Arc.
I need your help with a very sensitive mission. A former Kai, Opaka, was trapped on a prison moon in the Gamma Quadrant in 2369. Alien nanotech in her system prevents her from leaving the moon, but it also sustains her life indefinitely while on the surface. It seems the wardens of the prison were planning on curing and granting amnesty to the prisoners until their planet was decimated by the Herc.
Oops.
Somehow, the Dominion managed to obtain the cure, and they've provided it to us as a peace offering. The moon hasn't been hit by the Herc, but it's only a matter of time. We need to cure Opaka and the others and get them out of there before that happens.
Alright, we have our usual trifecta. Experience points, expertise, and dilithium ore. we get a heap of completely useless tetracell white. I mean, it wouldn't be useless if my Jemadar would actually use it, but it does occur to me that when I did this arc in the past, the Jemadar that I had was not the Jemadar from the 2800 missions, or whatever the heck the number was, the Lost Dominion arc. Varara Talon is. So let's find out if he'll use the tetracell white. Make a note, we have 23 tetracell white right now. We'll see how long that lasts. We'll also get a pair of catchy outfits, which I guess are suitable for civilian stuff. The Ennis Prisoner and the Null Ennis Prisoner. Why we would want to wear prisoner outfits, I'm not entirely sure, but whatever. Also, a choice of a makeshift polearm, more melee, and polaron weaponry. Not horribly impressed by the choices available, but you know, it is what it is. So let us transwarp from the Dyson Sphere, where I closed out last week, and zip on over to the Gamma Quadrant and begin Armistice. But first, you may have noticed sitting here on the right-hand side this set of options. You see, the entire Gamma Quadrant is a battle zone of sorts. You can go to 3 areas and do a number of these skirmishes. When all 3 get to 100%, stuff happens. And they've got these tier rewards. However, as you can tell, they're all at 0 right now. Probably because nobody cares unless it shows up for the endeavors. I'm not even sure they do. That's the danger of some of the cues they put in this game.
Good.
They're the new hotness for a while, and then everybody
scanning the prison moon and its satellite network. They might have fixed the design flaw we exploited here years ago to bypass their defenses.
Oh, good.
Those satellites could cripple a Starfleet runabout with one shot back then. I'd rather not find out how powerful they are now, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Let's get close enough to scan, and let's not, man, that's a lot of satellites. When you can see a lot of satellites like that in space this distance.
Looks like the satellite weapon and defense systems were updated to deal with modern vessels, but they still have the same flaw that Miles O'Brien took advantage of years ago.
Well, that's careless.
You should be able to distract the satellites by firing probes near their position. Distract enough of them, and you'll clear an area long enough to safely beam down an away team.
In that case, let's
Picking
start.
Up some debris clouds from Herc ships in orbit.
Oh, that's nice to know. Of course, I don't prefer the Herc not be here at all, but you know, having them blown up, that will work for me.
It's possible some Herc bypassed the satellites. We should
satellites. Let's see about getting another probe off. Here's another one.
Looks like O'Brien's trick still works. The satellites took the bait, and we have a safe transport window.
Alright, get us in the transporter range. Go straight ahead in the big hole they've made. But we're probably going to want to, you know, get the ship out of danger.
I recommend
after
bring
being
some
down.
pattern enhancers along. Local interference can make it tough to get a lock on, and we might have to leave in a hurry.
That couldn't possibly be foreshadowing, could it?
All right. The doctor and I are ready to beam down when you are. Though I can't say I'm thrilled to see that moon again.
Beam it down. For those new to the stream, here we have my standard away team. Varsal, Shayla, Varara Talon, and no! And if you've been a long time viewer, you knew I was going to do that. I will never get tired of that. I'm going to be almost sorry when we finally hit the last stream with Admiral Tellel, and I can no longer do that. Luckily, we still have quite some ways to go, in spite of the fact that, if I did my count right, this will have been, either last week or this week, has been exactly 1 year worth of Tellel adventure. I'm not counting the time that I spent on the Dominion character or the Klingon character. So it's been quite a ride.
Jiang, or what's left of her, rather. Looks like the locals have scavenged everything of value from the old girl. Unlike her, they can never die thanks to the nanotech inside of them.
Until we have a cure, of course.
Right. The last time we were here, the prisoners were eager to be cured, if only to get the chance to kill their rivals off for good. I'm hoping that Opaka has shown them a better path in the time she's been here among them.
Now, you know, there's something that hasn't really been discussed here, and I'm going to mention that now. The whole point with this immortality thing that happened was, if you died on the planet, there'd be these nanomachines that would bring you back to life, and it would basically make you effectively immortal. But if you went off the planet, it would kill you. So here's where it gets interesting. What happens if we die? I mean, you can't, because of game mechanics. You can respawn, you can be revived by your bridge officers, you can revive your bridge officers. But that's from a game mechanic standpoint. From a story standpoint, it could get awfully sticky here. Of course, they also didn't mention the fact that, you know, odds are that if we developed a cure, the very first thing that we did to anybody beaming down would be to make sure that we took it for preventative maintenance. Alright, enough of that. We're going to switch off the flamethrower for now and go with my straight Polaron? Is it Polaron weaponry? It's a Kobali beam rifle, I just can't remember the type of damage it does. Maybe if I go over here. Polaron, excellent.
We're not alone. Herc life signs dead ahead.
Oh great, looks like they made it down after all. But on the bright side, some of these guys are attendants. They are part of my endeavor, so I am highly encouraged and even motivated to kill bugs dead. You know, when I do my streams for Star Citizen, I often like to say that it has more bugs than a Starship Troopers. Well, in this case, this story arc has more bugs than Star Citizen. How's that for scary?
Interesting. I just ran a medical scan on these Herc. They're not regenerating. There's no sign of the alien nanites in their bodies. Something in the Herc genetic makeup isn't compatible with the nanites. I suspect it only works on humanoids.
That's a good thing, because if the Herc could come back, that would really suck. Of course, there is always vaporization. And we've got 9 out of our 20 already. I have high hopes for concluding this arc, well, concluding that endeavor faster than one might expect. Let's see. Shield generator. Let's start working on regenerating that shield energy. No, get me back in. Everybody get back in if you can, because that way... Yeah, regenerate everybody's shields. You know what? I'm pretty sure we're all regenerated, but we're still ticking up. So, you know, technically speaking, I guess it doesn't matter if we're at max shields. It's still going to continue upgrading. That is a very handy thing to know. Now, I also swear, somewhere along the line, I just sworn I had some natural ability to improve my shielding as an engineer. Here we go. I don't know how I lost it. Is that only me, though? That's only me. That's okay. Let's move on. 13 out of 20. I was hoping for more attendance on that one. Hey, Legend, how are you doing today? See, got you turned down pretty low, listening for the wolves. Ah, you're playing that, dark game, Long Dark or whatever it was called. I think that's what you had mentioned it was. Ah! More bugs from Star Citizen, help! I am a horrible human being.
We're here to help. Keep fighting.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely do the keep fighting thing. And since we have a lot more people here, let's get that shield generator in, and let's see about working on that second endeavor. What I really need is an industrial can of raid. Or black flag. Oh, another guy's trying to run into the area that the prisoners jumped out of. Oh, and I'm happen to be right next to the guy I need to scan. Scan fallen prisoner. And we're halfway through our shields.
I think you'll find that she'll be in good health within moments. The healing nanites are quite effective. In fact, they seem to have become more efficient than they were last time I was here.
Ooh. Upgrades.
You can relax. I'm fine now. Really.
Yeah, I've heard that about you
made
guys.
it. Good. The Kai's been expecting you.
She has?
Yes, she's had a vision about you coming here. Come with us. We'll take you to her. Unless you'd rather stand around here until more of those things show up.
No, that's fine. I got my endeavor. Let's get moving. Lead the way. Hopefully, we won't have any more lurking inside here. Kind of
The
doubtful.
Kai's waiting for you. In the temple ahead.
Well, you know, it's not exactly what you think of when you think of the word temple, but, you know, honestly, it's a prison planet. This is good as it... Is that what I think it is back there?
Welcome. It's been some time since we've had peaceful visitors. And Kai Kira, it's been too long. Truly, the prophets have smiled upon us today. Indeed they have. We have brought the cure. You'll be able to live a normal life away from here. You'll
Keyword
be
being
free.
away.
And we have something to bring with us. A miracle. Is that? Yes, a blessing from the prophets. The Orb of Peace. Through it,
I wonder if
we
that's a
ended the
new
war
one or if it's
between
one of the ones that
Ennis
had been
and
lost
no
during
Ennis.
the Cardassian Bajoran War. Just curious.
As you can see, our peace has been shattered by the arrival of the hostile aliens. We have tried to speak with them, to find reason, but we have failed. We don't even know their name.
Yeah. That won't help
They're
much.
called Herc, and there's no reasoning with them. They attack and devastate every world, every species they encounter. We need to get you and your people out of here as soon as possible. I see. We must take the orb with us as well.
Out
We
of
can't have it
curiosity,
falling into the hands of such a
Our
warlike
Talon
species.
used any of the...
It would
He
be like
has.
an occupation all over again.
He used one of his Ketracel White.
That's not going to happen. I won't
How
allow
about
it in
that?
Newell, my friends. We can administer the cure to everyone in groups. With your permission, we'll start right away.
So
Very
now I have a
well.
place to dump
Begin
all my
the procedure.
Ketracel.
I'm sure many of us are eager to leave this place and begin a new life together.
Now the Jem'Hadar you can get from the Jem'Hadar faction. They don't seem to use the Ketracel White. Hey Cap, how are you doing today? You're here too, but your parents are still in town, so you're running around trying to get the kids ready for bed and whatnot. Inborn spirit. Well, that's okay. I appreciate you even if you're lurking. We are about to do some cures. If you're familiar with the Deep Space Nine first season episodes, there was a world where prisoners were exiled, and if they got killed, nanites in the air would revive them, and it would effectively make them immortal. But if they left the world, they would die immediately, because nanites don't work outside the planet. We have the cure for what ails them. So, at this point, we've decided their sentence is over.
I asked Bashir for this cure. I wanted to use the cure as a weapon and kill the enemy. I couldn't put the war with the Null.
Plus, I need to make sure Legends isn't talking about me behind my back.
Chance for vengeance. Now, that's changed, thanks to the Kai. I found a better path. I just want to
I'm sure Legends would do a thing like that. Okay, better life, natural life. Now you can. Let's get the rest of the folks we have shots for.
After all this time, to live a normal life, it's like waking up from a really bad dream. I can think about having a family again. An actual family.
Akui, hello. How are you doing on your end of the monitor?
Thank you.
And Legend confesses to talking behind the Cap's back. We are in the process of freeing some prisoners who have been here for a very long time.
Or we won't be friends no more. Get me.
Of course, some of them kind of make you wonder why you bother. But really, they've had a sentence of possibly lifetimes, thanks to the nanites in the area. Just eat a boatload of barbecue and you're in a coma. Ooh, yeah, that would do it. Would that be leftover from the fourth? Of course, that really only applies if you're, in the U.S. or one of the territories. Let's see, one more curative inoculation to do.
Is this for real? This cure? They talked about it a little after the Kai arrived.
Yeah, this guy does have a... does see the downside. It's just a good place to stop in a town.
I can die now.
It's nice to be getting to the point where you can actually feel like you can go safely to all the restaurants in town nowadays. With all the pandemic stuff going on, it's good to know that we're getting closer to what we would consider normal circumstances. Okay, yeah, this guy gets it. We've given him the cure to this place, but on the downside, he can die now, for real. So, they have to be a little more cautious with their existence.
I don't remember why it started, just that there was us and the Ennis had to die. Even when the Kai came, I didn't believe. But when they found the orb and people stopped killing, things changed for me. Guess there's something to faith after all. Anyway, thanks for everything.
Looks like you're down to one dose of the cure. Use that to inoculate the Kai or Parker, that is. I'll administer the cure to the rest here.
Yes, you would think that maybe they would have made sure to get her first. Then again, Opaka would probably have insisted that everybody else get theirs before she did. Because, that's how she rolls. So, have a hypospray.
You have my thanks for all you have done for us today. May the blessings of the prophets be yours.
Much obliged. It would be. We could use all the help we can get with all the trouble I get into.
Those things are attacking! Defend yourselves!
Oh, figures, wouldn't you know it? They couldn't drop in before I'd wrapped up everything, could they? No. Well, we're about to find out just how solid that cure is.
Down! Medic! Someone help him!
Medic. Where's the guy who dropped? Ah, there we are.
I'm afraid he's dead. There's nothing we can do for him.
Well, the cure obviously worked, but there's the downside. Wouldn't you know it? Guy finally got out.
We mourn the loss of our friend Colin.
We can take comfort knowing that, at long last, he was able to leave this place for a better one. He is finally at peace, and his path will join the prophets in the Celestial Temple.
I imagine he'd have preferred that the cure didn't work quite so quickly. Admiral, a small Herc vessel was able to make it past the satellite network. You're going to have company down there soon. Thank you, Captain Obvious! I swear, Tovin Kev is Mr. Obvious, really. I don't even know why I keep him around. The Herc ship is getting through, plus our earlier deception has put the defense grid on high alert. The probe trick isn't working on the satellites. Awesome! So how do we get off planet? We're attempting to hack the satellite command network. Once we've done so, we'll be able to close to transport range and beam you out safely. There's still a lot of local interference, however. If you can get back to the initial transport site and activate your pattern enhancers, we'll be able to get a better lock in your position.
The doctor and I will stay with Opaka and her people in case the Herc make another attack here. Once you've cleared the way to the transport site, we'll join up with you there.
Yes, because splitting up is always a winning strategy against a horde. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Well, fine. Are those floating rocks? Those are floating rocks. Art team, I think you need to work on getting some debris down to Earth again, so to speak. Oh well, let's clear the way. Theoretically speaking, if we can make sure there's no Herc between us and the transport site, things should be a-okay. Okay, back up, back up, back up. Stay here. Let me see, is there anything I can do to pick them off while we're up here? Well, let's see, we've got a bunch over here. Let's see what happens if I drop a nuke on them, so to speak. Ooh, rough break, guys. And since you guys are down there and I'm up here, with no way for you guys to get up here, I can pick you off at my leisure. And thankfully, my people are not doing something crazy like jumping down. Oops! Okay, we got one guy who can jump. This one feels like a good time to put down my shield generator. Might as well continue to work my way to getting that lovely bonus endeavor. Alright, looks like we have this area cleared, so let's have everybody jump down. And we'll continue. Let's make sure everybody did jump down. Not that I'm don't trust them or anything, but sometimes pathing is weird and my bridge officers don't do what they're told, as we saw graphically last week. Ooh, nice effect. Look at all that fog on the ground. That is a cool effect. It's also going to cause us all kinds of trouble because I can hear, yep, the bad guys cometh. And, we have this Overseer. Now, the Overseer is a really nasty one because the Overseer is capable of calling up more Herc. That's bad. So, I kind of like to make sure that he's target number 1. That said, being swarmed over here, so... Okay, that did not work out well. Get one of my people to revive me. Thank you, Varara Talon. Oh, good. Let's get some extra resistance from the... Oh, so much for
made
the
it out
resistance.
in one piece. Set up the pattern enhancer so we can beam out safely. There's no telling when the Herc will send reinforcements down.
And ding ding, second endeavor down. And a decent plasma high density beam. Don't know anybody that's going to be using it, but it's always nice to see something other than the usual white drops, which are common drops. And last pattern enhancer. We've got solid lock in the signal, ready to beam up. Let's do that. We're reading a Herc fleet inbound to our position. Until we deal with them, we won't be able to lower shields and beam out the rest of the colonists. Are we still hacking the satellites? Yes, we currently have partial access to the command network. Give us a little more time, and we'll be able to reprogram them to fight on our side. I like that plan. Make it happen. Sooner, rather than later. Because there are a lot more of these guys than there are of us. In fact, I'm going to call some Romulan reinforcements now. Ah! Alright, haha. I should probably pay attention to little details like... Yeah, I was flying too near the satellites. Oops. Note to self, the Herc aren't the only problem here. So I'm going to have to actually lure these guys away. Come on. You guys know you want to shoot me. Get some of my backup here. Speaking of my backup, it looks like the backup I called up is all dead now. I guess I'm not horribly surprised by that. I mean, the same satellite system that did me in would have gotten them too. I am using heals pretty quickly, aren't I? Let's see if I can get a balance, restore some. Coven, sooner would be better than later. But the good news is I can handle these guys away from the satellite network. I'm a little hacked off that the satellite network didn't do a better job on taking out the Herc, though. Now, if I thought that any of my reinforcement calls would do disruptor damage, I would be tempted to call them up there. But you know what? Doesn't hurt to try, right? If you got it, flaunt it, right? That said, my hull is taking a beating. I need to take some of these guys out faster. How about that? One of them is doing disruptor damage. Oh, that's sweet. That is sweet. Unfortunately, I think that the next grouping is going to appear before these guys, and these guys will be gone by then. Picking up more Herc, a lot more. We don't have a lot of time, but we are ready to reprogram satellites.
Let's
Do
move the ship
it.
behind the satellites and lure the Herc in.
I wonder if the satellites will do damage. I mean, disruptor damage. That'd be sweet. And my reinforcements are gone. Are they? Yeah, they are. What I'm seeing from my Alliance stuff are the defense satellites.
Just in time. Here they come.
Oh, good. We're just gonna sit here and let the defense satellites make mush out of them all. Okay, maybe I can't rely upon it entirely. We have a minute and a half about to survive. Which probably means they're going to have reinforcements show up if we wipe them out before the time is up. That's just the way it works half the time, I swear. Yep, there they are. Another group just popped in. But the more of them, the more that come up, the more that can be targeted by the defense satellites. Let's just let them do their thing. And we'll bring in the Delta reinforcements. They probably won't have disruptors, but hey, it's additional weapon fire that they can inflict upon the enemy. Pity I didn't pop the Nimbus guys earlier. It would have been nice to get a lot more disruptor damage, because that probably could have gotten me right to go. Ah well, life is tragic. And 3, 2, 1, 0. No more reinforcements for the bad guys. So let's just let the defense satellites tear the rest of them a new one. Let's go up here a little bit. Come and get me, cowards! Okay, admittedly, calling them cowards and I'm the one who's running away is probably a little hypocritical. I never claimed to be consistent. And I'll take care of them. Oh, yeah. Can we take these defense satellites home with us? Because I like them. It probably won't last. Bad guys all gone. Good work, defense satellites.
Alright, looks like the Herc have had enough for now. Let's get the rest of Opaka's people out of the colony while we can. The Herc might send a larger force to finish us off.
Good point, Dad. Beam everybody out now.
I'm glad I was able to administer the cure to the remaining prisoners while you were clearing a path to the transport site. Everyone is safely aboard and mortal for the first time in many years. I've never seen so many people overjoyed to learn that eventually they'll die.
It probably hasn't sunken in yet.
Thank you, Julian. It means a lot to me to have everyone out safely, especially Opaka. We have a lot to talk about, her and I. For now, I think we should return to Deep Space Nine before the Herc come back to settle the score.
Sounds like a plan. Oh, and fans of DS9? Watch this.
Welcome to Deep Space Nine.
Emissary, our paths meet again.
Hello, Ben. It's good to hear from you.
I would like to say that that's followed up on. It's not. The odds of ever getting the Avery Brooks to reprise Cisco in this game is probably goes into the category of the same odds as Patrick Stewart showing up, or Kate Mulgrew, or William Shatner. Yeah. But we have completed the mission.
I'm
Let's
glad
chat
we
with
were able
Command.
to return Opaka to Bajor safely. She's determined to follow the will of the prophets and establish a new place of worship in the Gamma Quadrant near the wormhole. Odo assures me that the Dominion are open to discussing this. We'll see. Many of us have not forgotten the fate of the new Bajor colony and the Dominion's role in that.
Yeah, the
As
fate
for me,
incidentally involved being
my
wiped
time
out
as Kai is coming to an end.
by the Jem'Hadar.
Opaka is the Kai
Their
that
perseverance,
Bajor
I
needs
believe.
now. I intend to guard the Celestial Temple from the Herc and anyone else who would destroy the home of the Prophets. Best place to do that is Deep Space Nine, as part of Starfleet. I'll be Captain Kira the next time you see me. Thank you again for helping me bring Opaka home. I owe you one.
Alright, so let's see. Makeshift polearm or Polaron weaponry? It's going to come down to, well, they're all the same value as far as energy credits go, so recycle the thing. It's not going to make any difference. So we'll grab the stun pistol and consider that being flushed down the toilet because I don't need it. Let's go back to Varara Talon, who has been faithfully using a good chunk of that Tetracell White. Let's give him even more. Let's encourage the guy to make heavy use of all of that. He's only using a Polaron beam. This is a Polaron stun. It is better. Marginally. Nah, we're gonna keep it. He's using a exploit weapon there. That's always handy for a tactical guy to be using. Well, let's get this personal endeavor reward out of the way. R&D materials. Yay. And the rare one. Energy credits. Yay. Can you tell that I'm enthusiastic? I'm just screaming with enthusiasm here, can't you tell? Well, there's always hope for that disruptor. If I can get a good space combat rolling again. Oh, somewhere along the... I got another DS9 log. I'll have to deal with that at some convenient moment. But in the meantime, let's go to our next episode. The Search. It's time to put the Bajoran and their religious stuff over to the side and deal with the primary
The
threat.
Dominion has asked the Alliance to send an expeditionary force into the outer reaches of their territory. The Herc aren't as numerous there, and we're hoping we can learn more about them while we render aid to the Dominion in that sector. Ambassador Odo will be accompanying us on his flagship, along with Captain Kira aboard the Defiant. I'll be commanding a modest Cardassian fleet as well. We'll start in the Dosi system. Our latest intelligence has discovered a Herc presence in that area. Meet us there at your earliest convenience.
I wonder how Kira is going to deal with Kurland, who is currently the captain of DS9. Hope they're not going to have any trouble that way. Okay, usual trifecta of rewards, plus even more Tetracell White. Get the good drugs. And you get one of the following. The big one here is the personal Karema Trader Comm code. This basically allows you to beam in a trading kiosk while you're on the ground. It's kind of like the freighters in space, in sector space. Now, granted, on many of the ground areas you might be at, that's no big deal. A lot of the areas where you tend to land will be, landing zones like DS9, Space Dock, New Romulus Command, all that good stuff. Kronos, First City. But on the other hand, if you happen to be, say, in the middle of a mission and you find your inventory is all stacked up, or if you discover that, oh my god, I need this item badly right away in the middle of a mission, that'll come in handy. Certainly it'll be more handy than the other options here, which is basically your dual beam banks and high density weapons. Although that would be decent for my Jemadar guy. But I find a lot more value for this kiosk, so that is probably going to be the accepted reward on that front. So, let us zap ourselves to the Gamma Quadrant. And here we are. Dossi is a Class M star. Its sole inhabitable planet is the home of the Dossi Confederation. The Dossi are known for their aggressive business practices, and their Tullaberry wine is a valuable commodity in several quadrants of space. And unsurprisingly, guess who they get along with well? If you're thinking big ears, you would be right.
Thank you for joining us. As you can see, we can't even defend our stations from Herc attacks. It's going to take a joint Alliance and Dominion effort to stop them. We are currently at the edge of the Dossi system. Thankfully, the Herc aren't attacking the Dossi homeworld yet. They're starting to evacuate as a precaution, however.
Size doesn't matter. Who are the Dossi? Refresh our memory.
The Dossi recently joined the Dominion after many years of independence.
Oops.
Their aggressive fondness for commerce can be troublesome, but they've managed to prove their worth to the Founders. Work on this planet was a joint project with the Karemans, and the Dominion built a station here to provide oversight.
Yeah, it sounds like the Dominion.
All ships, target the Herc and fire at will.
Victory is life!
Yes, the motto of the Jemadar. I prefer Miles O'Brien. I am very much alive and I intend to stay that way. So let's start hitting them and do a lot of damage to them. There aren't nearly enough for me to be willing to bring out my big guns, however. Especially when I have so many other big guns here helping me out. Got those assembly ships out there with our... I think they actually construct more Herc ships, but I don't actually know that for a fact. One of these days I should actually look on the wiki and find out, because it would probably be useful to know. But I'm a lazy bum. It's one of my many character flaws. And this assembly ship may be up. There he goes. Just kicked out a swarmer. Well, the good news is the ship had something go offline, at least for a moment. The bad news is he's still kicking. Oh, hurry up and blow up. Thank you. Oh, when you know it, there's still a few more targets. Ah! And another assembly ship. Make him go away. Now, one of the things you may have noticed here is that I can't exactly dive directly down. I kind of have to do a spiraling drop in order to deal with my Z-axis, so to speak. It's a little flaw in the game. A known flaw. I mean, they knew this going in. But you can't go straight up, and you can't go straight down. I mean, if you want to be in a relatively safe area, you gotta kind of take a spiral on up. It's been like that since day one. Things haven't changed.
I can see that.
First things first, Garrett.
And while I'd like to put this system far behind us, I believe we should find out what we can about the Herc and their reasons for being.
I agree completely, Garrett, but you know, maybe we should take care of our current problem before we deal with the new ones. Okay, scan the planet.
This planet appears to have been abandoned some time ago. No life signs detected. Sensors indicate an extensive network of defunct mines. I'm reading residual levels of dilithium, topoline, and chemosite, and several components used in the production of ketracel white. How curious. Of what use would this world be to the Herc? It's clearly of no value to the Dominion. Wait. I'm reading more Herc inbound.
They're going for the station.
Okay, that's a problem. Of course, we don't really know if there's anybody actually alive on the station.
We should scan the station once we're done with these Herc.
I agree. I'm not entirely sure how much difference that will make, but I mean, I'd be tempted to say it's an artificial structure. That's why they're going after it. And that's it for the Herc. Hasta Lambada.
The station is a basic resource transport hub, not exceptionally old. No life signs on sensors. It looks abandoned. I'm picking up trace levels of mineral resources in several storage areas, but there's nothing of note here, unless the Herc are driven solely to consume an assortment of minerals. This is a very interesting
I don't know,
place,
what do they eat?
in that it's completely uninteresting to everyone but the Herc.
Yeah, that's not really helping us any. Oh, we're being hailed again.
Don't go to warp just yet. We're picking up a distress signal over here. You should take a look.
Okay, let's take a look at the distress signal. Minigame. Luckily, it's one of the easy ones.
Looks like it's a Ferengi signal of uncertain origin coming from the Karema system. I seem to recall Quark mentioning some business with the Karemans recently. This can't be a coincidence. We should look into this. Quark might have bitten off more than he can chew again.
Oh, it's either Quark or Madron, who seems to always
Is
pop
that
up
really
like
a good use
bad
of our
penny.
time? The Karemans are very resourceful. They design a considerable number of weapons and defense systems for the Dominion. I'm confident they can deal with the Herc on their own. As for Quark, he's quite capable of getting himself out of trouble. Trouble, I might add, that he had no business getting into in the first place.
Maybe, but ignoring distress signals isn't what we do.
I must say, Ambassador, I'm shocked. I know Quark's a gambler, but I never realized you were as well. Karema is a part of the Dominion, and an important one at that. Is losing their tactical and technological resources to the Herc wise?
Very well. Since I can see there's no talking you out of this, I'll accompany you to Karema. We're ready to go warp when you are. Let's get this over with.
Good. Up to Karema.
Where did all these ships come from?
Now, if you missed last week, you may have recalled
Here we
Odo
are,
mentioning
the
that
Karema system. Let's find out what Quark needs, deal with it, and move on.
you may recall that Odo said that his fleet was the last fleet in Dominion. What we are seeing here does not strike me as being part of his fleet. Odo? Were you lying to us?
Far be it for me to question the word of a founder, but that is a very large Dominion fleet I'm reading on sensors. I only mention it because we were led to believe Odo's fleet was the last.
That's what I said.
I trust there's a reasonable explanation for this miscommunication.
And we're being hailed.
Your presence is not required here. Explain yourself.
Oh, look. It's the Changeling boss. Now, we kind of let her go during the Lost Dominion arc, kind of as an exchange to deal with the Zamindar issue we were having at DS9. And it looks like she's doing what she does. What are you doing here? How are you doing here?
What you could do and should do are separate matters, Solid. You would be wise to learn the difference. Karema is part of the Dominion. We are here to assist them, if they wish it.
Yeah. You still haven't heard anything about all those ships?
Odo commands an expeditionary fleet. It is his to use in a mission to seek and destroy the Herc as he sees fit. My fleet is a defense fleet. It seems the distinction was not made clear to you. How unfortunate.
I don't know. That's a little fishy. And why do you have to wait for the request for aid? Aren't they a part of the Dominion?
The Karemans are proud. If they wish to stand alone and deal with the Herc, we will certainly accommodate them. Should they decide to ask for aid, we will gladly assist them. The point may soon be moot, however. Karemans are known for their potent weapons and defense systems.
Yeah, well, we got distress signals, so we're kind of inclined to go down and give a hand.
I will take responsibility for their actions in Kareman space. One of our operatives requires immediate extraction.
You're quite persistent, aren't you? Very well. In the spirit of our newfound pact with the Alliance, I will allow you to proceed, albeit at your own risk. Exercise caution, Odo. It would be tragic for you to come so far, only to end it all here over Karema.
You know, I am fluent in veiled threats.
It seems we're not getting the whole story here.
Yeah, I kind of got
business
that.
Business as usual. Exactly, Captain.
Okay, we have a fair amount of targets here, so you know what that means? That means I'm going to toss off the reinforcements here. Try to toss off the reinforcements, and hope that I get people who toss off disruptor damage. Yes, yes, do disruptor damage. Let's see if we can make some progress on that top-end endeavor. Get some of the good rewards. I'm going to take a moment to see if I can grab some aggro of these guys and lure them back here. Because I'd hate to waste the opportunity to have my ships there do more damage. Where did they go? Don't tell me they got pasted already. Well, I guess I can only expect so much from these pirates. I am disappointed, however. I was hoping to have a shot at getting that last endeavor out of the way, but I don't think it's going to work out. Ah well. I never really expected to get it anyway. It was just one of those desperate hopes that came about when I've seen disruptor damage being done earlier. I hoped that maybe, just maybe, but it was not to be. So we're going to have to content myself with just maybe getting that universal endeavor by the end of the night. We'll see where things stand. know, that spiraling climb again. Just pulling some Delta reinforcements. They generally don't do disruptor damage, so I'm not expecting much out of them. At least from the Endeavor standpoint. Obviously, I'm expecting lots more out of them when it comes to actually injuring my targets. You'll notice that there's a whole lot of immune going on. They've got that shield on their side there, but if I go on the other side, then I'll be able to do damage again. And since I'm a Raider, I do more damage from behind them anyway, so... I seem to be slamming into the edge of the map. Oh, is that their back they're protecting? Yeah, that does make a certain amount of sense. They're used to attacking from behind, so... Will they go away with that? I'm trying to kill off on a target here. You know what? Fine. You do what you do. I'm going to take care of these guys who are on the map. Very disappointing. But if I can't beat them one way, I'll get them another. You know, I am about 45 seconds away from being able to call these reinforcements again. And I know I was talking that I wasn't going to try to hit the disruptor thing anymore, but I don't know about ignoring the possibility. That said, there really aren't that many targets left. It's not worth it. Not unless we still have another assembly up there. We do have the other assembly up there. Alright, I'm willing to do that. Yo, Necrid assembly! Go beat up on those guys.
Warning.
Not bad, but unfortunately nowhere near what I was hoping for. Let's hail the Karema. No response. Keep trying.
My sensors are showing a broad band of interference in the area. It's jamming the standard Kareman hailing frequencies. Might I suggest giving them a new, more secure frequency to use for communications?
You know, the problem with that is, if they aren't working on this, you know what, let's send them the frequency, and we'll ignore the fact that, you know, they shouldn't be receiving this either.
Hello, can you hear me? We need help, and fast! Most of our planetary defense lines are in danger of being overrun by the Herc. We tried to evacuate, but the Jem'Hadar fleet opened fire on our ships when they broke orbit. We're trapped.
The Jem'Hadar shot you? Oh no? Are there more things you're not telling me?
Combat is notoriously chaotic. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for that. One best pursued after we find Quark and help the Karemans.
I'm beginning to wonder if this is actually Odo or not. I mean, let's face it.
I wonder.
Shapeshifters.
Ah, yes. We should try to find Quark soon. It's quite possible he's the only Ferengi on the planet. A deep-range sensor scan should locate him.
Well, let's do a scan and see what we come up with. Took a few scans, but I found one Ferengi life sign out of it. It's surrounded by a handful of Karema and a large number of Herc. There's a lot of interference in that area, so we can't get a transporter lock on him at this time. Can we hail him? You know, it's kind of nice to listen to the dialogue. I mean, if you just read the dialogue, you would miss some of those really entertaining little mentions. Like, there's a package, and Odo's lifelong wish will finally come true.
We need to get Quark out quickly before he has an encounter with the Herc of the fatal variety. Let's go down together while Captain Kira and the Ambassador cover our ships in orbit. We'll have to beam down outside of Quark's location. I suggest bringing some pattern enhancers along. We may need them to beam out once we find him.
Yeah, these days pattern enhancers sound like they ought to be part of our standard equipment, because we constantly need them. And looks like we're going to have one of those slow loading times. So, yay. Sooner or later, sooner or later. Ah, there we go. I was trying to figure out what I was going to fill the time with, but now we seem to be back in action.
We're about as close to Quark's last known location as we can get with transporters. I'm afraid we'll have to make the rest of the journey the old-fashioned way. Shall we? Quark's life sign is
We're used to it.
Let's try to
There's
find
a lot of things blowing up over there. Well, let's follow the path. I find 9 times out of 10 that following the path will give us something.
How convenient.
More floating.
We've found a hidden path. Let's have a look.
More of these floating rocks. Oh, floating insubstantial rocks. I can walk right through them. Eerie. A little darker in here, but at least it's got light.
The metal in the walls here completely scatters my sensors.
Oh, and guess who's inside?
Ah, more work. It seems we're in the right place.
Understatement again. Let's get some of my fabrications rolling here.
My tricorder shows a Ferengi life sign beyond that rather secure door. Unfortunately, the Karemin security system is beyond me. Given time, I could crack it, but we're running low on that commodity. There are a number of Karemin life signs nearby, however. One of them might be able to help us reach Quark.
Oh, let's go this way first and see what we find. Another door. And more Herc. So, you know, awesome. Oh, nice. When my duty officers managed to beam in multiple turrets for me. That's a plus. Usually I only get one, but there's a percentage chance that when you beam them in, you might get multiples. Metroid Guardian. They're not as bad as the Overseers, but they're pretty bad. Oh, maybe they're the guys who spawn more. Okay, talk to Oberlin.
That was it. I was gonna get eaten by one of those things. Can't say I like that idea much, so, thanks, whoever you are. You're not police or military. Well, Kremen military, anyway. What brought you down here to the middle of hell?
You know any Ferengi?
Oh, him. I think I saw my brother and some of his men
Love that kind of reaction.
drifter into a vault before those monsters got in here. Good luck getting him out of there. Wait, that was rude. You just saved my life. Let me return the favor. One of my brother's people should be able to open the door for you. Find them, and you're all set.
Sounds like a plan. So it's not too hard to figure that the other tunnels are going to have similar issues. Let's grab this one first, it's closer.
Perhaps waiting here would be best. The outer world is still a mess.
Interesting, that phrasing, the outer world. Let's drop the bomb. And then kill Bugs dead. Definitely want a lot of... Oh, okay, I guess I don't need as much firepower as I thought I would.
Am I glad to see you?
Canal.
Thought for sure we'd be safe from those things down here.
Canal.
Caves do a number on sensors and transporters, but that didn't slow them down much. Filthy creatures. If you don't mind my asking, why are you here? You're not with Kariman Defense. Are you mercenaries? Private security?
No, even worse. We're looking for Ferengi.
That'd be Quark, then. Only Ferengi around here that I know of, anyway. He's in a secure vault, not far from here, with another VIP. Look, I owe you my life, but I don't have the code to get to Quark. There are others nearby. One of them should have it. Help them, and I'll make sure they open the door for you.
It's always the last one, isn't it? Alright then. Run, 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 run.
The other Dominion ships just left the system. We're on our own.
Oh, you know, that has
The
good
door's
and
right
bad
there.
points.
I'll stay here while you save everyone.
Ah! Ambush! Even more importantly, though, shiny. I must scan it. I must harvest it. It's like an addiction, really. I've often said that if it came down to saving my crew or scanning a new harvestable, I would probably end up scanning the harvestable. Times like this make me think my captain has ADD. And look, it's more bad guys. Here, let me help. There are a lot of built space harmonics. It'd be nice to know what some of these things are doing to me. But you don't get any real detail. Alright. Maramat.
Thanks for the timely rescue. I don't suppose you'd be willing to turn a blind eye to all the contraband you've seen down here? It'd save me the trouble of shooting you later.
You may want to rethink that statement.
Kidding. I was kidding. You know, humor. Do they have that on your planet?
We tried humor. Once.
You're clearly not Kremen police, so what brings you down here?
A pair of big ears.
Oh, Quark, yeah, I know him. Little guy, big ears, flashy dresser. I hear he owns a moon. When we locked him up in a secure room when the shooting started. Big spender like that should be kept safe. Tell you what, help us out with all these gurks, and whatever you call them. Help us, and I'll help you. Deal?
Oh, we've actually already gotten everybody, so you're last. So sure, deal. Otherwise known as open the bloody door.
Alright, I'll wait for you here. Try not to die, okay?
Try harder. Door. Now.
And here we all are, alive and kicking. Wonderful. We had a deal, and I'm not about to back out on it, especially since you're all so well-armed and cranky. Not the kind of people I want to cross.
Distant Ferengi scream. I love it.
Yeah, that can't be good. Door's open. You'd better get a move on. Your pal sounds a little stressed.
Just a bit, doesn't he? Stay frosty. Either he's just found out he's bankrupt, or... Yeah. There's that overseer. He's got to be priority target number one. And I better start popping as many fabrications as I can. I have no idea, I'm blocked into a corner here. Drop some turrets, drop some medical generators, drop some shields. Oh, Shayla just went down. And that overseer is still kicking, which is not good. Try a little fire, Scarecrow. Down. Now, where the heck is Shayla? There you are.
It's good to see you too, Quark. I see your mission was a successful one as well.
Yes, Garrick, I found your mysterious widget. What is it exactly? It's not Kremen tech. They found it a few days before I got here. I haven't had a lot of time to analyze it, thanks to the Herc.
I see. Thank you, Quark. This narrows things down considerably.
It does. Good. That makes it more valuable.
Indeed it does, my friend. Indeed it does.
I'm beginning to be suspicious that they're running a con too. You know, I really hate it when people are concealing things from me. Ferengi, we'll get you next. First things first. First Minister.
Not the liberators I was expecting, but thank you nonetheless. I'm First Minister Bakelba. Our situation has gone from bad to worse, and we have the Dominion to thank for it.
How so?
Those of us on the edge of the Dominion were abandoned when the invasion began. In light of that, we voted to secede, to truly stand alone. The Dominion stood by while the Herc attacked us. We held off the invasion for a while, but their numbers are great. When we asked for aid, the Dominion refused. When we tried to evacuate, their fleet opened fire. They mean to punish us for our defiance.
Yeah. Kind of unexpected, but on the other hand, not entirely unexpected. This is the Dominion, after all. Quark? What are you doing here?
Well, First Minister, it looks like my distress call was heard. We're saved. Thank you. Looks like your reputation for getting things done is well deserved.
Fiery isn't going to help you. Why are you
for
here?
You, Garrick, you and I need to have a long discussion. Seems you forgot to mention that Karema was under a Dominion blockade and in the middle of a Herc invasion. Do Cardassians go senile? Oh, don't answer that. I don't want to know. What I do know is that you're not paying me enough for this aggravation.
Take a breath. Admiral, you need to set up pattern enhancers in order for us to get a lock and beam everyone out from your location. Well, luckily we remembered to bring them, so... Looks like we need 4 to make this one work, as opposed to 3 the last time.
The Herc are leaving. For now.
I'll take that win. Although I'm wondering why they left.
Good luck with the revolution, Minister. You'll need it. You'll be hearing from me soon, Garrick.
I'm looking forward to it.
You won't when you see my bill.
Now that we're past that unpleasantness, I think it's time we had a chat with Ambassador Odo, particularly about this technological wonder we've acquired.
And just what exactly is this technological wonder?
I have my suspicions, of course. Suffice it to say, I believe you'll find its purpose of great interest to all concerned parties. My main curiosity lies in what the ambassador will have to say about it. I propose we get to the bottom of this together.
Ah, drama. Fine.
Excellent. I'll make all of the necessary arrangements and meet you aboard Odo's flagship.
I'm sure that dramatic things are about to happen. Because God forbid Garrick just come out and say it. Which is actually keeping in character with that character, so to speak.
What is this?
Don't mind us, we're just visiting. Put
Stand
the weapons down.
all of you. To what do I owe this unexpected visit?
I hope you'll forgive the intrusion, Ambassador. We need to speak in person.
What are you up to, Garrick?
That's a very good question. What's this
yes,
about
it is.
exactly?
It's in regard to this device we found on Karema.
Congratulations.
Do you know what it is?
It's a soccer
No
ball.
idea. Some new Kareman military tech, perhaps?
Interesting. But no. The Karemans didn't make this. But it is a Dominion creation.
And its purpose?
I'm sure I have no idea, Ambassador. It does emit a signal, however. It's quite similar to that used by the Herc. Perhaps I should turn it on and show you?
There's no need for that.
I don't like where this is going, Garrick.
Nor I, Captain.
I'm not enthused either.
You see, I found
But nobody
a
asked
similar
me.
device on Bajor.
On Bajor. When?
Right after the recent Herc attack, I'm afraid. Captain, scan the device. You'll find the soil residue on it is of Bajoran origin.
It does. It's from the Kendra province. Well, that doesn't mean that Odo...
Enough, Nerys. I can't have you defending me on this.
What?
Garrick's right. These devices called the Herc, and we put them there.
Explain.
Well.
Now.
We needed the Alliance's help immediately. There wasn't time for summits or diplomacy. So I found a high-value target and led the Herc to it. I also took steps to make sure their attack would fail. Bajor was never at risk. You have to understand that.
Yeah, he deserved that.
You put my entire planet at risk. People died, Odo.
Nerys!
Wasn't fun for us
Save
either.
it. I've heard enough.
Please continue, Odo. You were saying?
I did what I needed to do to bring the Alliance into the war. I lied. Risked the lives of millions to save billions
Now you would
more.
think that Garrick would be
But there's
understanding
more
of
to
this,
this
considering the
than a
stunt he pulled during
staged
the
Herc
Dominion
attack.
War.
The other founders are hiding things from me. If I challenge them now, I'll have no chance to find out what. So, for now, I have to play the part.
Well, you're doing a great job of that, Odo. Or should I say, founder?
Yeah,
Trust me when I say I understand your position.
their relationship might be a little on the rocks.
The captain, on the other hand...
I know. I have a strong lead, but I'll need your help to move on it.
You know how to reach me. It seems you are a gambler, Odo, and a high-stakes one at that.
You have no idea.
Oh good, more foreshadowing. Well, let's have a meaningful talk with the principals here, shall we? we'll start with Loris and Wayoon because, you know, I'm getting a kick out of watching them argue and I'm dying to know what they're talking about.
I'm surprised to see you here, Wayoon. Aren't you usually at your founder's side, hanging on her every word?
Pardon me a moment.
It is a message from said founder that brings me here now. She would remind you of your purpose, to serve the Dominion as a whole.
That's fair.
How kind of you to deliver the message in person. Thank you for your service. As for my service, the ambassador shares his wisdom and guidance with me. Truly, he is a most benevolent god. Why should I not serve him? He is a founder, after all.
I'm right here.
Serve the founders, yes, but also serve them well. Do recall the fate of your predecessor. She thought she served the founders well, quite possibly to the moment her unfortunate life came to its
Guess that explains what happened to the Loris of the Lost Dominion arc.
She was greatly mistaken.
Ahem.
The same could be said for your predecessor as well, dear Wayoon. Have you forgotten his sins? I know
Which
the
predecessors?
founders
He's had so
haven't.
many. Hello, everybody.
This is a private conversation. Unless you're here on a matter of the utmost importance, I suggest you find someone else to speak with. Somewhere else.
Vorta snobbery. I didn't miss that at all. Let's have a chat with Dukan Rex. He's the first of the fleet here.
It is not my place to question the will of the founders.
Shocker.
Your mind, however, is your own. Do with it as you will, but be warned. The founders do not appreciate betrayal. If the Alliance withdraws from their pact with the Dominion, the consequences could be severe.
Yeah. For example, the Dominion could get wiped out by the Herc, so watch it. Odo? Anything you'd like to say before we head out?
I need you to understand that Bajor was never at risk. We took precautions. I made sure that my fleet was in position to neutralize the Herc in time.
And what about Karema?
Karema was not my decision. Do you honestly think I'd take part in a plot to bring allies to our side, and then move to wipe out another group of allies? As I said to Garrick, there is more to this than we know. I'm going to find out what and why. I hope you're inclined to join me when the time comes.
We'll see. I think we're going to be a little more suspicious at this stage, though. Garrick, anything you want to tell us? Since, you know, or if you pulled out all the surprises out of your hat.
Quite.
Hi,
don't you think?
Moonlighted. How are you doing? Welcome to my screen.
Respond to all this.
We are running
For
the
now, I think
Gamma
it's best to
arc
keep this
in
the
Star Trek
purview of
Online,
the diplomats.
and
Let's
we are
return to
wrapping
our
up
ships.
the
There'll be more
episode
time
known
to
as
speak
The
about this
Search.
matter later.
And it seems that Garrick is not going to be very helpful. Alright, let's beam back out and do some collecting. Let's hail the
Interesting,
command.
don't you think? The founders are
See what they have to
definitely up
say.
to something, and we all seem to have parts to play. I know Captain Kira is not happy with Odo, but I suspect that working with him will be our best option. Some advice? Don't speak with the Vorta or other founders about our current situation, at least for now. I'll contact you when we're ready to act on Odo's plan.
Things to look forward to. Okay, so we'll get our usual trifecta plus Tetracell White, and we're going to grab the personal Karema Trader Comp Code.
Be seeing you.
Now, we're probably going to be pushing it as far as trying to throw a third episode on there, so we're going to do a couple other things instead. First, I do have that Universal Endeavor that is sitting there just taunting us, so we are going to do the Academy Lore mission. I don't believe they have lore missions at New Romulus, so we're going to have to go to Earth Space Dock to do it. That's convenient. Yeah, TFOs are certainly a possibility too, or at least one of the other queues. But I think I have a much more interesting idea, and that will be occurring, well, it has a lot to do with what you're seeing on the screen right now. But first things first. Come on, load that last up. There we go. Now to do the Academy lore mission, I've got beam to the Academy. Who are probably not used to seeing people in Romulan Republic uniforms wandering around. Although, technically speaking, I guess I'm actually in a Kittimer Alliance uniform, but details, details. It's the Romulan variant of the Kittimer Alliance, so. Okay, I'm further south than I thought I was. Just about everything of major importance at the Academy is in the North Building. The other details of importance are in the East Building over there. That's where you can get the bank and exchange and tailor, you know, all the other administrative sort of stuff. But anything involving lore or officers, duty officers that is, this is where you'll do it. So, let's talk to the commander. We have History 101 and History 102. Alpha Quadrant from 2380, and then the Alpha Quadrant midterm, which I will probably fail because I haven't memorized any of this stuff. As part of the Starfleet Continuing Studies program, officers can retrieve historical data clips from terminals at Starfleet Academy. The current subject is recent historical events. Study these data clips to prepare for the exam. So let's study the data clip. Historical data clip dispensed. Thank you for using this database. Oh, and that counts as the lore mission. Excellent, I don't have to take the midterms. I will use the data clip, which will give me a accolade that has information about the Path of 2409, Volume 20, Chapter 1. But I'm more interested in the universal endeavor that is now complete. Let's see if it gives me anything entertaining. Money, 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 and more marks. I will have to consider what marks to pick up on that. But in the meantime, let us beam back out to the Beta Quadrant. And we are going to take a look at the summer event over at beautiful Risa, which is conveniently not horribly far from Seoul. Let's hope the autopilot actually works. Ooh, I forgot to do the ops computer at DS9. Well, that'll wait. That's Pico. Not to be confused with a different Pico. Now, there's actually a fair amount to do at the summer event. And we're probably only get a chance to see some of them because they're on a timer. Ah, too far. Let's hop around here and enter the Risa system. Don't get stuck on. There we go. Now, first step is to get closer to the planet so we can beam down. You'll see that there's actually two areas to beam down. There is the classic beach, which I'm pretty sure almost nobody goes to anymore. That was the original beach at Risa. But more to the point, there's the summer resort. And that's where all the action is happening. So let us beam down to paradise. An actual paradise as separate from the paradise city over at Nimbus, which is somewhat less than paradise. Welcome to Risa. We're hosting a special festival, and you've arrived at the perfect time. Of course, every day is a perfect day on Risa. I'm the events coordinator in charge of the special contests that can reward you a great prize. Come talk to me over by the resort, and I'll tell you how to participate. In the meantime, enjoy all that our planet has to offer. Now, we've got a number of things going on here, and I'm going to kind of bypass that at the moment. You'll notice over there we've got the big reward of the Ryzen Festival here, which is the big luxury liner. Now, the way you can acquire it, let's see, is it off here? Yeah. You can see how much I've done here by the fact that I've got 0 progress. What can I say? In any event, you can do one of the events, get daily progress towards the grand prize. And apparently, you only have to do one of them as opposed to any specific ones. In the past, you would have to do the flying high event, I believe. But it looks like they're a lot more open than they used to be. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to hop over here on the boardwalk. In order to do the fly high event, you need a floater. The problem is that, well, not to put a fine point on it, the good floaters cost Lolat favors? Lolanet favors. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing it right or wrong. And those are the good ones. And you can see that we've got these special versions that have themes on them. Stem bolts here. You've got impulsive with various baseball team colors and stuff. And they all cost like 1,000 or, yeah, 1,000. 500 for your blue quality, 50 for your green quality, and for those of you who don't have any, like this character, you can rent the cheapo version. I'm pretty sure I don't have, you know what? I'm not 100% sure. I was doing this character back in the day when the event was rolling last time. I wonder if I have a floater from last year. It's worth checking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head through the main hall here, and you can see one of the other events going on over there, the dance party. By doing the dance party, you can unlock dances. I believe it's the samba and an enhanced samba. And you also get favors for doing the various events here. We're going to run all the way back here to get to the bank. Although it occurs to me that I could save myself the run by just calling the Karema code. But I'm lazy. Okay, let's take a look. Do I have a floater from previous days, or did I just not bother? It doesn't look like I bothered. That actually makes sense, because that was probably hip deep in the early Romulan arc. And it would have felt awfully inappropriate to be popping off here at the vacation planet. It was worth a look. Although there is one more thing I could do, possibly. I'm going to look at my account bank, because, you know, I tend to accumulate stuff over time, and I actually have 30 favors. That's not going to be enough to even get me the green quality one. Okay, it was worth a try. Now, another event that's going to be coming up soon, you can see it on the upper right hand on my screen. It may vary on whatever screens you look at. We have a schedule of events. You've got the power board race in less than a minute. I don't have a power board either. I mean, I can get them, but I'm not gonna really worry about that. Especially since the only one I'd be able to get would be the, well, cheapo version like the floater here. And the floaters are a little more interesting because that'll allow me to at least go places. Didn't want to right click on that. Just want to buy myself a floater. And here we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to the event coordinator and say hello. And we are going to take the, well, actually let's do the welcome to Risa, because that'll give me a free favor. Yay! Welcome to Ryza. We're hosting a special festival and you've arrived at the perfect time. We've already gone through all this dialogue, I think, so we'll just accept that. Complete that. Take the favor. And it says to open up the reputation tab and open the first event task and contribute the favor. But I think that might be obsolete. But on the outside chance that I'm wrong, yeah, I'm not wrong. Let's see. How do you get stuff in the store? Dilithium store? Oh, bandage shields are a new thing for huge amounts of dilithium. I can't imagine being that masochistic to spend 280,000 dilithium for one of these. Thank you, but no thank you. Reclaim? No. Special items? No, that's entirely different. Then in that case, it's probably on the event store tab. There we are. And I don't see anything on here about spending the one favor to open up all the other options here. Although it is handy to see because, you know, you can buy all the favor-related stuff through the event store here for the summer event. But you can't buy the cheapo stuff like I did. You have to go to the vendor for that. Okay, that's pretty much all I wanted to show on that one. Let's do the event coordinator mission. Flying high. You've seen the floaters. We set up some holographic challenges that test your abilities. Strap in, fly through the holographic rings, get stuff. In this case, we'll get 50 favors and progress on the daily event. This is an account-related thing, so trying to do this isn't going to mean a hill of beans on any other character except one. So the goal here is pretty straightforward. Fly through the various gates here. And the speed of your floater is dependent on, you know, how much you've spent to get it. Since I spent nothing but energy credits, this is the slowest floater. But the good news is, it also means it has the best amount of control. More or less. Kind of. The faster ones, they can be a little challenging to fly. And eventually you get to the end of the course here, and that one goes away. There are 3 courses to earn the reward for this. So naturally, people are encouraged to grab the ones that are all close together. Or at least the ones that start close to the ending point of another. So for example, you can see that I've got another one that's right over there. But I don't know if this is going to get me closer to another one later on. So we're just going to play it by ear. Now, I like this particular mission because it allows you to pretty much go all over the resort area. Potentially speaking. Now, the amount of courses is random. I mean, it's 3 out of so many. Well, okay, I think they offer you 4. You don't really see anything on the... Well, actually you can. Zoom in close. And it's obvious that the one all the way up north here is the one that's further away. I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to try to go to the closer one. Which I would have gotten by now if I had a floater that was actually worth anything. But, like I said, I'm using the cheapo version. And it's a rental too, so it'll go away after a certain amount of time. Which means I better get through this course fast. It would be really, really, really embarrassing to have this thing vanish on me while I'm in the middle of flying this course. I can embarrass myself on my own time. Of course, you can make the argument that this is my own time, but I choose not to dwell upon that. And we're in a cave. We don't need this anymore. Well, actually, I do kind of still need it because I'm going to need to get back to the event coordinator, and I can't exactly hail the event coordinator to do so. I also feel compelled to mention that there is an actual day-night cycle here on Risa, which means eventually it's going to become dark, and I believe there are fireworks that come up at some point. I don't recall the details. It's been a while since I've done the summer event. I usually don't go out of my way to grab the special ships from the Rising events. I've done it in the past, but I'm not hugely motivated. It's a character flaw, I admit it. Once I get to the event coordinator, I will be able to complete the mission, and the task is done. When I go to the events, to seasonal summer, you see that I've completed my daily. I've made 1 out of 20 progress. Now, interestingly, they're doing the buyout using Lobi crystals instead of the old Zen thing, which I find interesting. Usually, when you're doing the events, when they do the buyouts, you see they're listed as Zen. So this is an interesting choice.
The Horgon hunt has started. Talk to the Horgon collector to participate.
So that'll make life rough for anybody who's interested in paying Zen for the remainder. As far as the event itself, I have no idea how long it's actually going for. Yeah, nothing in there. I didn't think there would be. So I don't know if you start today, if you have any hope of actually completing the progress on here. Because God forbid they tell you how much time is left in the bloody event. There used to be a calendar, but that went away a long time ago. Doesn't really help anybody now. But if you do these other events, the Horgan hunt is basically a scavenger hunt. You look for a bunch of small Horgans and you collect so many. The biathlon is kind of a mix between floaters and power boards, I think. So you can actually use both of them. Artifact scavenger hunt. Right, that's the one that one allows you to try to scan for an artifact, and it's basically kind of a warmer, colder sort of deal. Where if you get closer, you're getting warmer. If you're getting further away, it's getting colder. That's basically the artifact scavenger hunt. Powerboard race is exactly what it sounds like. The power boards are basically powered surfboards, which can be fun. And the dance party, which apparently will be probably way down here, I don't know, maybe an hour. That's what we were seeing at that central area. Oh, right, there is one more thing too. Why don't we do that? Just to show it off. We are going to beam to the promenade. Ah! I've crashed! Something has gone wrong. Crash processing. Well, you know what? This feels like the appropriate time to call it a night. Yeah, I know the image there is Star Trek Online, but no, I'm not used to seeing Star Trek Online crash, so I never made a crash screen for Star Trek Online. I might have to start looking for that. Okay, well, we managed to at least get a couple of the missions for the Gamma Quadrant arc out of the way, and we took a look at the summer event. I hope you enjoyed following along on the stream today. Hopefully you will show up again next week, roughly the same time, roughly 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Wednesday nights. Ordinarily, I would also be doing Star Citizen on Saturday, but I have another real-life job-related thingy going on Saturday, so I will not be able to stream on Saturday, but I may very well displace it to Sunday. So if I do, it'll probably be Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. The timing will at least be the same. It just won't be on Saturday. It'll be on Sunday. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, whether you were watching this live or watching it on video on demand. I hope you'll join me again. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.